The longer pain had lived in my body, the greedier it seemed to get. It puffed up its ego and tried to take over. Sometimes its effect got so overwhelming, it blocked out any love that existed. When it blocked out the love of God, depression moved in. Then depression and pain became roommates, living happily and throwing parties all night when I wanted to sleep. They blocked out my joy and invited every raw emotion I ever felt to party with them. But God's light never went out despite all this. It stayed lit and waited patiently for the opportune moment. At that moment, it would glow so brightly that it would catch pain and depression off guard. It would open the floodgate of tears to calm and wash away the partygoers of hopelessness and despair. At that moment, it whispered to me to get back on antidepressants and pain medication, which I stopped taking when people who did not understand my condition would tell me I didn't need them. I had tried to hold on to God's strength with all my might without medication. Ego was going to be strong, smug, and live up to other people's expectations. But pain, depression, helplessness, hopelessness, and despair had all dragged me away. The SSRI and anti-seizure soldiers marched in and held back the mob. The hydrocodone soldiers put pain on pores. Day by day, the light of the lantern became brighter. I was reunited with God's love and grace. If God wants to do his work through this body, using pain and affliction as a guide, I can accept it. When I pay attention to the pain, I notice God working. In pain and affliction, God is connecting and reaching out to others who suffer. God is reaching out into the world through his body, not mine. I am God's faithful servant, allowing pain to park in my body so it can do its work. My ability to walk had dwindled, and so had my finances. I watched as day by day I was able to go and do less and less. I identified with Job in the Bible, and a spark of hope remained. The light of that lamp began to glow, and I realized what a gift God had given me. I had been given simplicity. I had been given the chance for my ego to realize that love doesn't exist in other people, places, and things. I had an opportunity to have God beside me as my partner. I didn't need to fill up my time shopping for clothes, trinkets, cookies, ice cream, driving here or driving there. Reading inspirational books could consume that time. I could sleep and dream in the cradle of God. I could read the wealth of his words indefinitely. If I couldn't go somewhere, maybe God didn't need me to, because where he wanted me to go, he always provided a way. The silence I lived in and day out became music to my ears, because God sings lullabies and speaks to me in the silence. The world had dwindled from my grasp, but in its place was a mountaintop where joy existed. I felt the cup of God's love overflowing as I basked in the sensation of my breath and spirit occupying much more space than the limitations of my body. I still felt pain, but the suffering I was putting myself through ceased to exist.